Hello guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video I want to share with you how I personally approach progressive overload and getting stronger with my style of training. So as you may know, I'm training more like low volume, high intensity, basically very similar to what Dorian Yates used to do, just a bit modified based on like my personal exercise preferences, my gym equipment that I have available, my body structure and so on. But basically I train approximately like 4 days a week with having like something like 2 to 7 working sets per muscle group weekly, a bit more for larger muscle groups, a bit less for smaller muscle groups, but basically pretty low volume and having like only one all-out to failure or sometimes even beyond failure working set per exercise. So let's get right into it. So how I approach my progressive overload, how I track it, and how I make sure that I'm getting stronger from week to week and actually like making progress on my training. Let's pick one exercise just to give you an example. Let's go with, let's say, T-bar row. So currently I'm doing T-bar row obviously on my back day or pull day, and I have like one working set of rep range of 5 to 8 reps, okay? So before I get to that one working set that is done to failure, I would usually do something like approximately 2 warm-up sets before, just to like warm up my muscles, you know, to get a bit of blood in there, you know, to activate this mind-muscle connection and to practice the movement a bit, and to get this muscle ready for that one heavy all-out failure set. Now these warm-up sets are not intense at all, so as soon as I feel like the warm-up set is becoming a bit too intense, I would usually just drop the weight, because I don't want the warm-up set to be too heavy and actually take away from my strength on a top set. So what I would do is like first warm-up set I would put like really light weight on there, you know, and do something like I don't know, 10 to 12 reps, you know, and then second warm-up set it would be a bit like heavier warm-up set. I would put on a bit more weight and maybe just do something like 5 to 8 reps, but again nothing like too intense, you know, just a warm-up set. And then once I'm done with my 2 warm-up sets on that exercise, I would basically load the weight, the working weight for that working set, you know, and I would go all the way to failure on that set, up until my muscles cannot move weight at all. So let's say today I have a back day and I do my T-bar row and I go on my working set and I put certain amount of weight on and I manage to do 5 clean reps to failure, and I fail at 5th rep, so I completed 5 reps. So I would write down into my notebook on a phone. I do it on a phone, otherwise I think it doesn't matter if you have pen and paper or on a phone. Just write down your lifts, write down what weight you used for how many reps with what controlled form and all that, so you can track your progress from week to week, right? So I would write down that I did 5 reps with this weight, and then next time, so next week when I come and do the T-bar row again, I would not be increasing weight at all up until I beat the rep range, you know. So if I have the rep range of 5 to 8, I would not be increasing weight until I can manage to do 8 clean reps with this weight. So when I come up to 8 clean reps with this weight, then it's the time to up the weight, but not before. I first need to beat the rep range and then I'm upping the weight. So this time, let's say I go on a T-bar row again, and I would try to do my best to progress on this set in some way, you know. So I would usually try to squeeze 1 more rep in. Sometimes I maybe wouldn't manage to get a whole rep in, so I would maybe do, for example, just 5 reps plus 1 a bit like forced or partial rep, you know. But obviously I wouldn't write down in my notebook and say, okay, I did 6 reps this time. I would write like 5 reps plus 1, and that plus 1 would mean that I did 1 like forced or partial rep, you know. And then when I come next week and do a T-bar row again, I would try to do, for example, 6 clean reps, you know. Then next time 6 clean reps plus maybe 1 forced rep, you know. And when I come up to 8 clean reps, you know, and I would say I beat the rep range, then it's the time to up the weight, and I would add more weight on a bar and do everything again, you know. I would maybe put on more weight and get back down to like 5 reps. Then I would bring those 5 reps with, I would bring that weight, that new weight up to 8 clean reps again. And once I beat the rep range again, I would again up the weight, and I would just keep going like that to basically just constantly drive progression as much as possible. Now, one more important thing we need to discuss here is how controlled the reps are. I think that on every exercise that you do, you should approximately determine like how controlled your reps should be on that exercise. So for example, on a T-bar row, I usually have a rule that I have approximately 1 to 2 second positives and approximately 4 second negatives. So I would be dropping the weight like 1, 2, 3, 4 up. And I think that's important, because if you don't determine this, it is very easy to cheat on your logbook, because you can, like, for example, I can do today 5 really controlled reps with 4 second negatives, and I write down in my notebook I did 5 reps with this weight, and next time I come to do a T-bar row again, and I don't control my reps as much, and I maybe only do like 1 or 2 second negatives, and I maybe manage to do 8 reps or even more, and then I'm like looking at the logbook or the notebook and my numbers that I did previous time, and I'm like, whoa, last time I did 5 reps, but today I did 8 or 9 reps. That's amazing. I made such a great progress. But did I really make progress, or am I just like fooling myself, And I just loosen up my form, and that's why I managed to get more reps in. So I think that's why it is very important that you determine approximately how controlled your reps should be on a certain exercise. Now, obviously, you don't need to be overcomplicating this stuff and like overstressing about whether you did half a second more or less on a certain rep and doing whole mathematics out of your training, but it's just good to approximately determine how controlled your form should be on a certain exercise so you can accurately track progression. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for today's video. It's actually pretty simple. That's how I approach my progressive overload with this style of training. So only 1 set per exercise, and on that 1 set I give it my all, 100% intensity, and I try to make progress every single time if possible. I'm usually never adding more sets to my workouts and trying to apply progressive overload by increasing the volume of my training. I pretty much never do that. Maybe I implement some like rest post set here and there, but I am never like, for example, going from 1 working set per exercise to 2 working sets per exercise. I am focusing on applying progressive overload through increasing the intensity of my training and making the sets that I already have more intense and get stronger on them, rather than adding in more sets and more volume. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. Like always, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment to support the channel's growth, and see you in next video.